just like it's almost like not that, but down the road.
It's a special night to say the least. Please direct your attention to midfield for tonight's ceremony. I attend the members like the North Carolina Football Hall of Fame. Jimmy Hunter, ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame. Thank you for players, coaches, and program contributors from North Tonawanda to Bishop Gibbons High School. Please give a warm welcome and round of applause to these Hall of Famers.
As you can see, this was one of the videos that we played last night at George J. Gunner Stadium. I'm not sure if this is a 19-minute video or a 9-minute video. Yesterday we were forced to go to a 9-minute video to accommodate halftime, so we were able to do that. And if you were at the game yesterday, we hope you enjoyed it. We're going to start with some remarks from Paul Price, if he's so inclined, and I guess it's Don Warmington, if you come and join me.
And 3 Henry Award recipients. Leading off this year's Hall of Fame celebration are Brandon McClincy, Travis Charlesley, and Chris Woodard. McClincy and Charlesley were teammates from the 2007 to 2010 era, while Woodard was a 4-year veteran and 3-year starter for North Tonawanda from 2011 to 2014. All were named to one or more All-League, All-Conference, or state teams. Please welcome these 3 former North Tonawanda standouts with a warm round of applause.
Yeah, they played the country song when they were doing the. He does. But we did go
During the 2001 and 2002 seasons, and led the Jack to some of the best.
All right, we'll come back to that once but I want to introduce Paul Price, president of the last 33 years of the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame, and Don Warmington, the vice president who's been in charge, or semi-in charge, or second in charge for the past 30 years. Both these gentlemen have announced their retirement from the Hall of Fame at the end of the year. Please put your hands together, give these guys a round. Thank you guys, we appreciate it very much. I'm going to turn it over to Don Warmington right now. He's got some remarks and also some notations.
You can snowball out of Davey here every Thursday. Yeah, he rides with us.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, alumni, athletes, coaches, families, and friends. It is with great pride and enjoyment, excitement, that we welcome you tonight to celebrate a milestone moment in our community's rich football tradition, the 30th induction class of the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame. For nearly 60 years, this Hall of Fame has stood as a testament to the grit, determination, teamwork, and spirit that defines North Tonawanda football. Every 5 years, we honor those who have not only achieved excellence on the field, but have also carried those lessons into their lives, representing the best of our school and our city. Tonight, we gather not just to recognize remarkable players, coaches, and contributors, but to celebrate the lasting legacy of a program that has brought generations together under the Friday Night Lights. From unforgettable victories to the friendships built in the locker room and the stands, the story of North Tonawanda football is a story of pride, perseverance, and community. As we honor the 30th class of inductees, we remember that they stand on the shoulders of those who came before them and inspire those who will follow in their footsteps. Their names will now take their rightful place alongside the legends who have made Lumberjack football a tradition unlike any other. Please join me in congratulating and celebrating the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame class of 2025, our 30th class of inductees. Also, I would like to thank this year's induction committee, which includes Paul Price, Dennis and Claire Grinnell, Mike Body, Frank Pallotta, Keith Piscucci, Bill Janowski, John Barrett, and the late Miranto. Most of all, I would like to thank Kim Chuzo, because without her, we would be a rudderless ship. Thank you, Kim. Okay. Now, what are these? Lord, we give thanks for the shared meals, memories, and fellowship of this evening. Bless our food and bless our company as we honor the outstanding achievements of our inductees. Amen.
Thank you, Don. Everyone, please enjoy your dinner. We'll be back at dessert time. We'll begin our program with introduction of our special guest, Tony Sukennik from Bishop Gibbons, and then it's showtime with our 10 inductees. So enjoy your dinner. How's everybody's dinner been so far? The cheesecake is coming out. It looks fabulous, you know? I'm looking at it. I'm going to come gain 5 pounds just looking at this stuff. Phenomenal. Thank you so much to the rest of you for the wonderful, and this is even better. I want to see why I'm enjoying it. You sort of kind of starting this program, otherwise we're going to be here till Monday. I want to do that. You know, Mike Tuzo was very busy, so we'll get up and leave. I want to acknowledge our honored guests, and what I mean by that also is our previous inducted Hall of Famers. So if you've been previously inducted into the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame, would you be so kind as to stand up, please? So you can recognize it. Sorry, Monty, tried to get you up out of that chair, you know that? Oh my goodness, you're almost done with that cheesesteak too. Oh, wow. Nothing safe around you, buddy. Some of the other honored guests I want to mention tonight as well too. Where's Rick Winter? Rick Winter, thank you for what you did for our film preservation project and donation, and everybody else who contributed to that. As you probably read, we're approaching 1,000 videos on that YouTube channel. I never thought it would ever happen when we started this crazy project back in 2019, and even 2 years before that, where Susan approached me with the idea of digitizing these old films that were floating away in the basement of the Hall of Fame over on Gondry Street. So thank you so much. Another person I want to acknowledge, Russ Peters. A lot of you have seen the tremendous donations that he's given to the NT football program, and it's going to come down to some of the other athletic programs as well too. Known Russ for over 50 years. He used to have a full head of hair, believe it or not. He used to make fun of me in the back of my head when at 15 years old I had a bald spot. And I just said to him tonight, I said, funny how karma works, brother. And Russ, would you please stand up and be recognized? Thank you for caring about the kids. I know you live down in the Pittsburgh area, and it means a lot to a lot of these kids in the local community. Is it showtime? Start with our introduction. our dinner time? Now it's time to honor our class of 2025. Inductees will be announced in the order of former players, legends, and Bunhead Reward recipients. We'll start with Brandon McClincy. Brandon McClincy played varsity football for North Tonawanda in the 2007-2008 seasons as a running back for the Lumberjacks. Some of his accomplishments include being named as a Section 6 Class AA Offensive Player of the Year, 2008 TNT Game Most Valuable Player, selected second team All-Western New York by the Buffalo News, was named to the Tonawanda News All-Star Team, and broke the North Tonawanda single-season touchdown record with 22 scores. Brandon graduated in 2009. He lives locally with his wife and 2 sons and operates a thriving photography business. Unable to attend tonight due to a previous business commitment. You know how the brides are, they don't want to lose their photographers, and they book them well in advance. Please welcome the Brandon McClincy family to accept their reward on her. Thank you for that. They're here with the 2 boys.
Thank you, Christian. We got trouble because I took Jim shoes.
So I can start over here.
That's your daddy.
I'm all set. Yeah, thank you.
Give it up one more time for the McClincy family.
Every opportunity I've had, every achievement, and every lesson learned, I owe to his grace. I want to thank my beautiful wife, Amanda. We started dating when we were just freshmen in high school, and from that moment on, she's been by my side. From her Tonawanda Warrior days,
No
she
cheesecakes?
probably wore my jersey to every game,
Watching
to
your
now,
girls figure?
she has been my rock through it all. Amanda, I'm so grateful for you. Your unwavering support, your love, and your constant belief in me have been the foundation of everything that I've accomplished. To my amazing boys, Oliver and Chase, you are my world. The most exciting part of this, receiving this award, is the chance to share it with you too. This honor isn't just mine, it's something that I share with both of you. You inspire me every day to be the best version of myself, and I'm so proud to be your dad. I want to thank my parents. From the beginning, they have been my biggest supporters. They've done everything in their power to set me up for success. From taking me to practices, to cheering me on at every game, they were always there. There are too many sacrifices they made for me to list, but I want them to know that every moment they gave, every word of encouragement they spoke, helped shape me into the person and player that I became. I'd also like to thank the NT coaching staff. Every single coach I've had the privilege of working with has had a hand in molding me into the player that I was. Their patience, their guidance, and their ability to bring out the best in me helped me not only to grow as a player, but as a person. A special thank you goes to Coach Jancy. Coach, it's truly an honor to be inducted alongside you tonight. You constantly pushed me to be the best player I could, and it made all the difference in my career. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me, and I'm proud to be inducted alongside you with all these other great inductees tonight. I also want to thank my teammates. This recognition isn't just about me. Had it not been for the guys standing by my side on and off the field, I wouldn't be where I am today. And lastly, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the Hall of Fame Committee. I'm truly humbled to be inducted into the NT Football Hall of Fame. NT has such a long and proud history. When I first started in NTAA, this was something that wasn't even on my radar. I was just a kid with a love for the game, trying to do my best and hoping to make my mark. And to be honest, I never thought something like this could happen. But here I am, humbled by the recognition, and deeply honored to be a part of this incredible legacy. To be inducted into the Hall of Fame with so many incredible players is truly surreal. I'm so thankful to everyone who's been a part of this journey and to those who voted for me. This honor is not just mine, it's a reflection of everyone that I just mentioned. So again, thank you and have a wonderful night.
Our next inductee is Travis Charsley. He brought a hard-nosed attitude to the Jacks program during the 2008 and 2009 and 2010 seasons, and he was a critical member of the 2009 North Tonawanda State Championship team. During his NT career, Travis played in all three phases of the game as tight end, middle linebacker, and a special teams player. In the state championship win over New Rochelle, Charsley caught a touchdown pass from quarterback Mike Tuzo to help NT jump out to a 7-0 lead. Charsley's resume also includes being the 2009 Western New York High School Defensive Player of the Year, being named to the 2009 All-Western New York Defense, New York State's 2009 fifth defensive team, and being selected as the 2010 North Tonawanda Most Valuable Player for the TNT game. Travis currently owns a successful HVAC company with his father and brother, enjoys life with his wife and 2 sons. Please welcome Travis Charsley to the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame.
First of all, thank you for everybody coming out tonight. Thank you to the Hall of Fame for yesterday evening and tonight, but also every spaghetti dinner. Everything was awesome. Shout out to the guys that I was blessed to be coached by, Jancy, Rick Tom, Cook, Zayat, Celeste, Piper, Kennedy, Suter, OB, and Hoffman. We really couldn't have asked for a better group of coaches. Shout out to the entire 09 state team. Shout out Big John for the JV spaghetti dinners. Also thank you to my parents for allowing me to play at a young age and rise through the ranks with some of the great guys I am fortunate enough to still be friends with to this day. And thanks for celebrating with us. Cheers.
Our next Hall of Famer, Nick DeShane. He played varsity football for North Tonawanda in the 2000, 2001, and 2002 seasons. As a 3-year starter on both sides of the ball and a 3-year varsity letterman, Nick excelled at linebacker, defensive back, running back, and wide receiver. In his senior year, Nick led North Tonawanda with 12 touchdowns. He averaged 8.2 yards per carry, finished the season with 777 rushing yards, and had 85 tackles on defense, the third most by an NT player that season. Among Nick's Hall of Fame accomplishments were being named to the 2002 Buffalo News All-Western New York team as a defensive back, being named to the 2001 Section 6 Class AA North second team defense, and being named to the North Tonawanda Most Valuable Player in the 2002 TNT game. Please give a warm Jacks welcome to Hall of Famer Nick DeShane.
Hello? I'm not talking. Thank you, Mr. Fry, Mr. Warmington, and the rest of the NT Football Hall of Fame Committee, keeping this rich NT football history alive. Congratulations to fellow inductees. I had the opportunity to play with Chris Reimer. It was just a nightmare to play with. This NT defense, asked my twin brother. He's the only one that can play the pitch guy and the running back. He was frustrating. To the Weech family, Brian was one of the kindest people I've ever been around, strongest person, most dedicated in the weight room. He used to say to me, Nick, I'm a man of few words. Any questions? Like, no, Brian, that's it. Congratulations to his family as well. We had the opportunity to play with the best football coach I've ever been around, Coach Erik Jancy. he did more for me off the field than he did on the field. The rest of that coaching staff, Coach Beach, Coach Tom, Coach Zayats, Mohr and Traver, Coach Cook in the JV, Coach DeAngelis, who came in from Canada every day to help us coach. Coach Wawrzynek helped us out all year. Without the dedication of our coaches, it's no secret why the success we had for the next couple of years. Thank you to the coaches. Alex, Nicholas, Alicia, love you guys. Mom and Dad, thank you very much for coming tonight. Appreciate you guys taking me to practice. We played literally right here in Little League football. We live 10 doors down. Yeah, this really is truly an honor. And congratulations to all the inductees, and thank you again to the Hall of Fame. Appreciate it, guys.
Our next honoree is Chris Reimer. By the way, congratulations on the big win yesterday, season over, 17-14 over Hamburg. As Nick alluded to, Chris was a member of the 2001 and 2002 teams, playing a significant role on his defensive end position. Among his accomplishments during his senior year including leading the team with 90 tackles, registering 3 sacks and 2 fumble recoveries, and according to account in the Buffalo News, Chris was a key contributor to a defense that yielded just 13.9 points per game on the Jacks' way to a 10-1 record in the Section 6 Class AA title. Some of his other accolades include being selected to the 2002 All-Western New York Football First Team Defensive Line, 2002 Buffalo News Football Honor Roll, Tri-Defensive Player of the Year, 2002 Western New York High School Armand Ace Cacciatore Award recipient as a Section 6 Defensive Most Valuable Player, and the Tonawanda News 2002 Defensive Player of the Year. Chris still resides in North Tonawanda with his wife and 3 children. Please give a warm welcome to 2025 Hall of Famer.
I'm nervous as heck right now. I just want to say thank you all for coming out tonight. My family, my mom, my dad, my grandma. My grandpa's up there watching down for me. My Uncle Mark, Uncle Mike, my beautiful kids, my beautiful wife. Yeah. I never expected this. You know, I always kind of play football. I started playing when I was 6, 7 years old. Just fun, have fun, and meet new friends, turn into a family. The bond, you can't ask for much more than that. You know, these awards that I got through high school wasn't that what I wanted. I wanted to play football. That was the love of the sport, building a family and a team. To the ones that are getting awards today, congratulations, and thank you.
All you have to do is drop the mic and eat it in.
Our next honoree is Chris Woodard. Chris Woodard is a rarity in North Tonawanda football history as he contributed significantly and lettered in 4 seasons, 2011 through 2014, and played multiple positions: quarterback, punter, wide receiver, and defensive back. In his NT career, Chris registered 52 combined touchdowns, 17 passing, and 35 rushing. He amassed 5,224 yards of total offense, scored 238 career points, and had 1,300 career punting average yards, and averaged 44 yards per punt as a senior. His NT Football Hall of Fame resume also includes being named All-League quarterback 3 times, being named to the Buffalo News All-Western New York team, being selected as the Tonawanda News Player of the Year in 2014, and recognized as a first-team All-New York State selection. Chris graduated from NT in 2015 and continued playing football on the Division I level as a tight end at Wagner College. Chris currently resides in Raleigh, North Carolina, and is employed as a mechanical engineer. Please welcome this year's youngest inductee into the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame, Chris Woodard.
Extremely grateful to be part of the next class inducted in the NT High School Football Hall of Fame. I know this is technically an individual award, but I feel like there's a lot of people that contributed to my success on the field that I'd like to recognize tonight. So hope everyone's got a full drink. It might be a little longer than the other speeches. First off, my family, specifically my parents. Can't thank them enough for all the love and support they showed me throughout my career. Drove me all over the Northeast, going to camps, practices, 7-on-7s. I don't think I ever missed a high school game. And most importantly, always had a good guy's pizza waiting on the kitchen table after. My younger sister, Shay, being the youngest sibling, she always got dragged around to our boring games and practices. But thank God she never complained or said that it was stupid or that she didn't want to go. My brother, Zach, I was lucky to have a younger brother who liked sports. No matter how bad I'd kick his ass the day before, he'd come back and line it up again the next day. But seriously, my brother and sister motivated me to be a good leader and role model for them to look up to. And I think they drive my sense of purpose probably more than either one of them now, so appreciate you guys. My girlfriend, Annette, I know some of you guys are thinking, girlfriend, have you guys been dating since high school? Yes, but clearly she has superhuman patience, so I think I'm good for a couple more years. Shout out Mr. Winters, but seriously though, and I've been through so much. You guys just helped me through countless decisions on the football career and life in general. I love her more than anything. It would not be up without her. And that's family. Parents, Marissa, Derek, Carla, Kim and Mark. I think besides my family, they might have been the only ones that didn't miss one of my games. And that was a cheerleader, so I'm not sure if that was optional, but I'll count the support. To my friends and teammates, I think back on my football careers, what happened on the field rarely comes to mind first. I feel like it's all the car rides, the bus rides, Friday morning basketball, the locker room. It was like my favorite memories. So give a shout out to Ryan Gilbert, Drew Kranz, Brian McDonough. I wish I could stand up here and name everybody, but it's pretty cool like going through Little League with everybody, and then you get to middle school, you're going to the high school games, and then you're going through summer workouts, 2 days, and then you finally get to go and play for the city you grew up in with your best friends you grew up with. You really can't beat that. I've been fortunate to play in a lot of like big stadiums in college, and you cannot beat going out on Friday night playing with your best friends. All my coaches, kind of had 2 sets of coaches in college, but I think a big part of the success was because of that culture that Coach Jancy and Coach Tom created. They got guys in the system early. Started going to the weight room in high school, when I was in 7th grade, and it would have been 2010. It would have been really easy for a lot of these older guys to see a skinny little middle schooler walk in there trying to bench press the bar and just ignore them. But they didn't. They taught me the ropes, showed me around, give me rides, and I think that really shows the character not only of those guys, but that culture that was built. And it means a lot to my success. And I was also the starting quarterback for one of the first coaching changes in over a decade at NT. But I'm grateful for that adversity that was presented to me. I feel like it taught me a lot of leadership, teamwork, humility, and watching NT win games 68-0 your whole life, and then going out there and throwing 3 picks and losing the first game is a pretty humbling moment. But I'm proud of the teams I was on and how we turned it around. Made the playoffs my senior year, never lost a TNC game, kept that streak alive. So I feel like I owe a lot to that secondary coaches too. Taught me a lot about, being a good teammate and developed me into, somebody that was ready to play college football. So thanks to Coach T, Coach Clark, and all those guys as well. And then finally the Hall of Fame. I think what this group does for NC football is really special and does not go unnoticed. I look forward to those, that Thursday night spaghetti dinners more than the games. Thank you again to everybody who played a part for this weekend on. It's been awesome. The award means a lot to me. Thank you. Go Jackson. Go Bills.
Just want to step aside for a moment because I screwed up on something. Got Tony Sukennik here, North Tonawanda Football Hall of Famer. He's here to talk about the Bishop Gibbons aspect of our Hall of Fame and some of the new things that they're doing over there. So please welcome Tony Sukennik.
All right. As many of you in the room are aware, I sometimes tend to ramble and go on tangents. So football is a game where you must adapt to change. I was told earlier when I wrote this speech that I would go on before dinner. So my excuse for trying to be brief was because everybody was hungry. Then I was supposed to come on before all the other inductees during dessert, and I was going to have the Shreve twins stand up so that they couldn't steal my dessert. That was going to be my excuse. But I don't usually read speeches. I pride myself in being able to speak extemporaneously, but today I decided that I'll humble myself and read from a script because my mission is to honor NT football and a small school where I had teammates who all grew up with the hope that they could somehow contribute to that same legacy. I'm here to honor my brothers from my school and don't want to go off script and leave something important out. And that's why I'm reading my speech today, so I don't go off and forget something. I'm pretty sure that many of you in the audience have not heard of Bishop Gibbons. Anybody who hasn't heard of Bishop Gibbons, raise their hand. I'm a bit surprised there's only one in the audience. Bishop Gibbons, for 10 years, mostly in the 1960s, was a Catholic high school at Meadow Drive and Payne Avenue, just a mere half-mile from NT High. For about the last 50 years, the buildings and grounds have been utilized as a senior living facility. I played football at Gibbons and then at Boston College and was honored to be inducted into the NT Hall of Fame back in 1982. As an icebreaker in my induction speech that year, I said that I played sports at Gibbons and many thought I was the best guy on the team. Of course, the rest of the guys were 80 years old. Some people actually get the joke. As a 30-year-old, I thought that that was pretty funny. But now the reality is setting in, and in a mere 8 years, there's going to be some 30-year-old making a speech and talking about a guy like me. The NT Hall of Fame has graciously honored a handful of players from Gibbons over the past 50 years. And I think there are another handful of players who would have been stars wherever they played. But time is passing, and it's not realistic to think that all of those remaining players could be honored in their lifetimes. given that there's an only induction ceremony here every 5 years. So what we decided to do was, and so today I'm here to introduce the Bishop Gibbons Vikings Football Hall of Fame. If you gentlemen could move aside for a second. We've commissioned a plaque over here with the players who were outstanding in the 10 years that that high school was open, and 8 seasons where they actually played in the Catholic School League. So now, for some years, the Hall of Fame has been gracious enough to have a poster which shows the history of Bishop Gibbons football, and now this plaque will be sitting in the Hall of Fame to the side of that. So these are the names of these players, and in your program, on the page immediately following the profiles of each of today's inductees, you'll see a replica of that particular plaque and the names of those people. These are the players that we all, I'm sure, would have gone to war with. Everyone who has played football knows that the team has both stars, but more importantly, the relentless, gritty players who truly define the team. This plaque lists those players who define Bishop Gibbons football, and now will be on permanent display at the MT Football Hall of Fame with that plaque. I personally honor and thank all of them for allowing me to be on their team. I also sincerely congratulate today's new inductees, and after reading carefully all of those profiles, I am humbled to be a member of their team. Thank you for allowing that. I also would like to say that now let's enjoy the main event and all the rest of the inductions here, which embodies the great history and legacy of North Tonawanda football. And what I want to also say is the 2025 team really carried on that legacy last night. That was a tremendous win, and that lead us into this celebration tonight. As George Vetter, a legendary coach at North Tonawanda, who actually founded this Hall of Fame, once forcefully and truthfully said, "You can't beat North Tonawanda." Thank you, and enjoy your dinner. Wait, hold on a second. That was my original script. Enjoy the rest of the program, and I've enjoyed interacting with all of you this weekend, and look forward to talking to you as the evening goes on. So thank you very much. Look in your programs, you'll see some names that a lot of you won't recognize, but some of you who are North Tonawanda people might recognize some of those names. So thank you for having me. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Paul. Congratulations for all of the years you put into it, and you too, Don. And sincere congratulations, Ed.
Thank you, Tony Sukennik. See, that's what happens when you screw up, you know that? Now we move into the Legends division. In the Legends category, we begin by honoring the late Brian Weech, who was a dominating offensive guard and menacing defensive tackle for the Jacks during the 2000 to 2002 seasons. Standing 6'5" and weighing 280 pounds, Brian was mentored in the weight room by John Cardiff, another NT Hall of Famer. Some of Brian Weech's accomplishments are as follows. Named first team class AA North as an offensive lineman, first team All Western New York and All New York State in 2002. Was named a New York State powerlifting champion and who broke the state deadlifting record in 2002. And to top it off, Brian was voted the Vaughn Parker Award recipient for being the top offensive lineman in Western New York in the 2002 season. Sadly, Brian passed away in 2016, Please welcome the Weech family as they accept Brian's induction into the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame. You sure? Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Hall of Fame, for this honor. Football was Brian's life. He would have been so happy to be here.
Also in the Legends category, we honor Mark Fitzgerald. Good North Avenue guy. Not big in stature, but big in heart. Our next Legend Hall of Famer, Mark Fitzgerald, is one of the toughest pound-for-pound players to ever come out of North Tonawanda. Fitz played on both sides of the ball as a center on offense and nose guard on defense in the late 1970s. In his 2 varsity seasons, Fitzgerald garnered accolades from the Tonawanda News, Niagara Gazette, and Buffalo News. That season against arch rival Tonawanda, Fitz had 7 unassisted and 6 assisted tackles, 2 quarterback sacks, a blocked punt, and 2 defensive touchdowns. And after another dominating senior year, Fitz was named to Section 6 All-Division I offensive line. The Niagara Gazette named him to the All-Area Defensive Line, and he was named the Steve Sarkovics Award winner for being the top lineman in the Jacks program. Today, Fitzgerald resides in Pendleton with Kathleen Laskowski. Fitzgerald has been an insurance agent for the past 40 years. He has 2 sons, a Mark Jr. and Brendan, and a granddaughter, Nora. It's been a long time coming, and better late than never, but please give a warm welcome to Hall of Famer, Mark Fitzgerald.
Well, unlike Tony, I have script here, so when you get old, you need glasses, and you need something to read. First, I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight. They say that all good things come to those who wait. Well, apparently really good things take 48 years. I finally got the call that I made the cut, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here, so thank you. To the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame Committee, my fellow inductees, coaches, teammates, family, friends, and the incredible Lumberjack community, words cannot express how humbled and honored I am standing before you tonight. To be inducted in the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame alongside legends of North Tonawanda and Bishop Gibbons is not just an honor, it's a celebration of a legacy built by countless players, coaches, fans, who made this program a cornerstone of our community. This moment is bigger than myself. It's about all of us who have bled red and blue under the lights at George J. Gutter Stadium. Football began with a dream, like so many kids who grew up in this city. I remember the roar of the crowd during the TNT Classic, the pride of pulling on the Lumberjack jersey. This town taught me what it means to be part of something bigger than myself. The North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame, founded by legends like George Vetter, preserves that legacy, a legacy of grit, hard work, teamwork, and community that stretches back decades. From the 1900s to the 1950 undefeated team, to the 1979 Section 6 team, the unforgettable 13-0 2009 state championship team. Being inducted into this hall, alongside so many heroes of the Lumberjack football, is a dream I never dreamed to imagine. My journey in North Tonawanda football began at the age of 9 in the NT Tiger Cats organization and ended under the lights of the TNT game. Helmet too big, shoulder pads off of me, no clue what I was doing, just a kid who wanted to hit somebody and be part of a team. I was hooked. I fell in love with the grind, the brotherhood, the responsibility. It wasn't easy. There were sacrifices, early mornings, late practices, grueling weight room sessions, long track runs, moments of doubt. But what drove me was the fire to make my family, my teammates, and this community proud. To my coaches, George Dermestich, Fran Burke, John Gissera, Chuck Ramsey, Chuck Williams, Dave Vona, and Dave Anastasia. Thank you for pushing me further than I thought I could go, teaching me discipline, accountability, resilience, and that greatness comes from hard work and respect for the game, and the value of every single play. The lessons I learned on the field didn't stay in high school, they followed me throughout life. I still to this day hear Coach Burke yelling, "Run the play again." To my teammates, and especially a good friend, Bob Lucazonis, who's fighting pancreatic cancer, stay strong, my buddy. You guys are the heart of this honor. We did this together. Thank you for being my brothers. I've never forgotten what it felt like to take the field with you, knowing we had each other's backs. You were my family during those years. We won together, we lost together, and we grew up together out there. We learned how to fight through pain, doubt, fear, and we came out stronger together. Some of my favorite memories and closest friendships were born under the lights, wearing red and blue. The memories we made are the things I cherish the most, and I share this honor with all of you. Freshman year, I can still hear, "Coach, coach, my eyes are burning." To my late father, Jerry, I hope I made you proud. To my late brother, David, and my mother, Joyce, the backbone of our family, who couldn't be here because of recent health issues. I miss you, and I wish you were here. To my sister, Amy, and all of my other family members, you sacrificed so much, cheering through the wind, the rain, the mud, the snow. You were there through every step of this journey. You were my rock, my biggest fans, and sometimes my toughest critics. Always with love, and I love you all. To my teachers and mentors at North Tonawanda High School, you challenged me beyond the field and showed me that success on the field meant nothing without character off the field. To my classmates and fans, the heart of Lumberjack Nation, thanks for packing the stands. Your energy fueled us, whether a freezing November night, a packed stadium for the TNT game, or the TNT streaking fan, and we won't name names, Rick. You made every moment unforgettable. This induction is not just about me, it's about every person who shaped me, every coach who drew up a play, every teammate who played with me, and every fan who cheered us on. No one gets here alone. It's about the history of North Tonawanda football. Players like Derek Bloomfield, who caught that game-winning touchdown in the state championship game in 2009. Coaches like Erik Jancy, who led that team to the state title, and the countless others whose names echo in the hall. It's about the Film Preservation Project, keeping our memories alive from the 8mm films of the 1920s to today, and the YouTube interviews. This honor belongs to all of us as I stand here. I'm reminded that football taught me lessons that go beyond the scoreboard, how to persevere, how to lead, and how to give back. And to the young athletes here tonight, know this, your hard work, your passion, and your love for this game can carry you far, not just in football, but in life. Stay consistent, give your best effort, and keep believing in yourselves. Carry the North Tonawanda spirit with you, and never forget what it means to represent North Tonawanda. Thank you, North Tonawanda, for making me who I am. And finally, I thank God for the strength, the opportunities that brought me here, and for blessing me with people in my life who have shaped me. This moment is a reminder to stay grateful, be humble, and to cherish the people who make life meaningful. To my sons, Mark and Brendan, you are my greatest accomplishment. This award is a symbol of pride, but it pales in comparison to the joy of being your father, and I love you guys. And in being your partner and loved by an incredible woman, Kathy. You make me a better man every day. You are my heart, and I love you dearly, honey. I played in the middle of the storm, unrelenting Trent warfare, where it's gritty, messy, brutal, and it wasn't glamorous. So thank you for letting an old lineman know that even the work in the trenches doesn't go unnoticed. I'm honored beyond words to be remembered for this. I still have my I Block for Butchie TNT 1977 NT Hogger shirt to show 48 years later I still remember it. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart for this incredible award. The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can achieve excellence. And in the words of MVP Josh Allen, be good, do good, God bless, and go Jags. Thank you again.
One more time for Mark Fitzgerald. 48 years of a heartfelt veteran never and entering the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame. Now we move on to the Bud Henry Award recipients. We start with my buddy, Keith Piscucci. Growing up in the Gratwick area, Keith Piscucci was destined to be part of North Tonawanda football. Starting off at Wrazin Junior High, to playing JV, to varsity football, to watching his boys, Jeff and John, play in the program, to filming varsity games for 12 seasons, his 25 plus years of volunteering with the Hall of Fame. Scooch has devoted probably close to 60 years to the NT program. Along the way, Scooch has been associated with some of the greatest NT football coaches in program history. As a player, he was fortunate to play for Dave Anastasi and Fran Burke on the very first Wrazin Junior High School team, and was a member of legendary George Vedder's last squad in 1970 and Chuck Ramsey's first in 1971 as NT varsity coach. Because of his tenacious defensive tackle play during the 1971 season, Piscucci was named All-Niagara Frontier League by the Buffalo News and Courier Express newspapers and was selected Sarkovic's Award winner by the NT football program. With his passion to continue being part of the NT football program, Scooch began with the Hall of Fame as its historian in the late 1990s and began taking old NT stored game films and creating VHS tapes of different individual seasons, which were sold by the Hall of Fame to some former players. And then along the way, Scooch found time to film many NT games during the Erik Chansey era. Partnering with me and other Hall of Fame members in 2019, old NT game films were preserved, converted, and digitized into today's technology. And the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame YouTube channel was born to house these old game films and interviews. Some films go back as far as 1928. Thank you, Scooch, for all you have done all these years. And my buddy, my brother, welcome to the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame as a Bud Henry Award recipient.
Thanks, Ed. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. Pretty awesome here. It can't be NT football. Very special place. I'd like to introduce some people at my table. My son Jeff, corrections officer, New York State. Had a great career at NT, and his two daughters. One plays basketball for NT, and Dora plays softball for JV. My brother Paul, he's inducted into the Western New York Baseball Hall of Fame as an umpire for many years. Did Little League all the way up to college. Was a substitute ump for the Bisons. And he also did basketball at the highest level at Glens Falls State Championship games. His girlfriend here, Debbie, she's a Hanford graduate, which that's okay. And lastly, my wife Cindy, we met in a bar on Webster Street at Jolly Rugs. Now it's probably a soap shop or a vape shop, I don't know. So I asked her out the first date, she goes, I said, you want to go see the Geminis? She goes, you know, she didn't know it was a Twin City Geminis play football at Better Stadium, so I took her there. So I figured if she had to take a pee or something, she'd probably leave because she didn't live far from there. But March 7th, we had our 50th wedding anniversary. Yes, seen these films, or whatever Ed said that we did, it was awesome. I probably watched 200 films in my cellar on an old Bell and Howell movie projector, showed them on the wall. Cindy would say, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just watching film." Then I asked for a white sheet, and then she said, "What the hell are you doing down there watching film?" So it was for the wall, Cindy, so I could see the film. So, but I learned so much from watching NT football on them films. It was just awesome how hard NT played. And you know, back in the day, if you lost against NT, you knew you were in a freaking game. You know, the last few years we've lost that. We have to get back to that, kicking some ass and winning some games. And Ed, me and Ed, we started this thing. We didn't know where it was going to go, but Ed's been just unbelievable with all these interviews, calling out ADs from all over West New York looking for films that we didn't have. Monsignor Martin, all the old guys that played against North Tonawanda. We tried to get from NFL what it was like playing against North Tonawanda. We talked to these guys. It's truly been awesome. And I'd like to thank Coach Jancy here, but I want to get still involved. I said, is there anything I could do? So he handed me a camera. He said, go up there, I want you to film the line. So I did that. Next year I was full-time with Erik. Hell of a right coach. Blood that was involved. That 09 was just magical. I was with my son up there. He was a stats guy in Warmington. That was just an awesome experience. So that's all I got to say. And Ed, great job.
Next one being honored is me. Circle of life has swung back to North Tonawanda with my induction into the Football Hall of Fame. First starting out writing about high school sports for the Tonawanda News in 1973, inspired by Paul Pascucci when he did it as well. I had college stopped at SUNY Niagara, better known as NCCC back then, and then Indiana University, where our football coach was Lee Corso and our basketball coach was Bobby Knight. And then later at the Buffalo Courier Express with guys like Erik Breeden and Warner Hessler, and some of you old timers would know who these guys are. The rest of you guys have to Google it. I left Western New York in 1982 to go work at the Auburn Citizen newspaper 2 hours away. And then 9 months later was whisked away by the World Wrestling Federation. Some guys joined the service, I joined the circus. I was there during the beginning of Hulkamania and the pro wrestling explosion. After 1987, I came back to Auburn, New York to marry my beautiful wife, Janet, raise our 2 kids, Courtney and Kelsey. Now we have a grandson, Rennie. Life is good. The last 15 years I've been working in radio as a sales rep, and then 10 years ago they asked me to start doing play-by-play. I had done some radio in New York City in 1983 for the World Wrestling Federation and a station called Z100. I was known as Easy Ed. So in 2017, Scooch has always been a troller with me on social media, so he knew that I might bring something to the table for the Hall of Fame. So he asked me about that, if I'd be interested in this project. And I said, well, I'm not ready, I'll be happy to help you once I retire. And when I did make that announcement 2 years later, the day afterwards, Scooch called. And he kept me to my word. What transpired with that and where we went with that, we had no idea. We thank Don Warmington and Paul Freischer. They gave us enough rope to support us and also enough rope to hang ourselves if it failed. I imagine maybe we would finish maybe about 450 videos. We passed that in the first year. And now we're at 970. And by the next year and a half, we'll be at 1,000. So if you do an AI search or a Grok search and ask about the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame YouTube channel, there's nothing like it in the world. There's things in Texas and Minnesota that do it on a state level, but nothing exists with a rich history like a North Tonawanda football program. I'm thankful to be part of it. I never anticipated going into the Hall of Fame. I'm eternally grateful. It's that emotion thing, Mike. It's coming out on me now. You know that? Today is an anniversary. My dad passed away 44 years ago today. So it's a little tough. I want to thank you, the committee, Paul Fries, Don Warmington, and the rest of the Hall of Famers, and you people here. My wife, my family, my cousin, my twin brothers of different mothers, Jim Sipier and Chief Bill Hall, for the support. And thank you so much once again. And I'll always remember this day as long as I live. Thank you. I'm back up the plate already. Here we go. We're saving the best for last. Coach Erik Jansky. He served as the varsity football coach at North Tonawanda from 2000 to 2010 and returned for 1 year in 2018. During his tenure, he amassed an impressive record of 89 wins and 27 losses, with his North Tonawanda teams averaging 34 points a game. He led the Jacks to 8 league championships. Right up there with George Vetterisk. Under his leadership, the Jacks won the 2009 Class AA New York State title in the Dome at Syracuse for the first time in school history, and that continues. We've played football in North Tonawanda for 131 years. That season, the team went 13-0, undefeated, outscored their opponents by a whopping 481 to 114. Erik is known for his expertise in running the triple option and optimizing his potential to achieve remarkable results. Better yet, Erik is known for establishing remarkable blends of team discipline, rapport with his players, and always teaching his players life lessons. Besides his North Tonawanda experience, Jansky has been a coach in the state championship game on 3 other occasions, twice with Orchard Park and once with Canisius High School. He hails from Springville, New York, where he was an outstanding football player who took his skills to Bucknell University, where he was named to the first team Patriot League his senior season. One of his greatest achievements was coaching his son Hunter in the last 2 seasons of his high school career, where he was named All-Western New York and All-State Selection, and won the Western New York Fall Season Scholar Athlete Award. In 1997, Erik married his wife Colleen. They had 2 children, Carissa and Hunter, and presently reside in Orchard Park. Without further ado, please welcome Coach Erik Jansky from the North Tonawanda Football Hall of Fame.
Thanks. It's really great to see everybody on such a beautiful occasion. It's been a whirlwind of a weekend. We had a game today at 2 o'clock, and last night the guys kept me up past my bedtime. I went to bed at 8:30 or something. So I decided I better write down some notes. Usually I just kind of wing it, but I'm going to go from there. You know, I've been coaching in a couple different places. When my wife and I moved to Orchard Park, we moved because her father had cancer at the time, and she wanted to get closer to her father. And it was very important for my family and I to do that. But everywhere I've been, there's nothing that compares to North Tonawanda football and what we had going in the 2000s. You know, you go like searching for it now your whole life because you've had a taste of it. You know, we've had success and things like that, but there's nowhere where a community comes together like it does here in North Tonawanda. I mean, I have such great memories of games we played here. I still remember the Jamestown game. You know, the crowd that we had, it was absolutely ridiculous. You know, and all these faces of these kids that I see, it's memories, and that's what I'm blessed with as a coach. And to be able to coach as long as I have, it's not the wins and losses, it's the memories that you form with these kids at very important times in their life. You know, and every one of these guys that are here, I can tell a story that you would probably laugh about. You know, I'm going to save them some of those stories, but just everything. I mean, I've been looking for a film guy like Scooch my whole career since I lost him. You know, I tried getting him to come to Canisius, but it's just having somebody like that you can count on. You know the job's going to get done. That's the type of support that we had here, and you kind of take it for granted. Now I realize today I'm running around literally five minutes before our game, and I said to Coach K, I'm like, hey, who's running 2 cameras today? He's like, I don't know, find a couple kids, you know, and it's like, we're ready to kick off, and it's a mess, and that's when I think about, oh, where's Scooch? I needed that. But I was blessed that, you know, people ask me a lot of questions about how we did things and strategy and things like that, but I was blessed to work with, like, start my coaching career with guys that were like my best friends. You know, it was, we got together when I found out that I was getting inducted. They were the first people that I got a hold of. And we decided to get together and have a meeting in our own little location, and we sat there for a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours, and I got home and I told my wife that my stomach was killing me from laughing. We had so much fun. It was like, you know, we never left each other. But, you know, at the same time, you had to have a pretty thick skin. You know, I remember the coach from, I think it was Syracuse, came in, he was recruiting somebody at the time, and he was like, do you guys on your coaching staff, like, even like each other? You know, because it was just like a big cut-up session and stuff. And I think that's one of the things that the kids got to see, that we were real people, and we weren't much different than them, you know, and it kind of carried over. And there were stories that were so funny about where, I remember, like, in particular, like, Coach Tom is the most annoying person in the world, right? And when him and the defensive guys used to get together in the office, they would just start attacking me verbally about something, you know, random for no reason. So my defense mechanism at the time was to just stop talking, right? And one time, Coach Tom said, are you SpongeBobbing me? And I'm like, SpongeBob? I didn't know who SpongeBob was. Right? So I get home and Google it, and I see SpongeBob. It's SpongeBob, if you know who he is, you know, and he doesn't talk or anything. And I'm like, oh. The next day I go into my office and open the door, and there's SpongeBob pictures all over. You know, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But we used to do things like Dave and Charsley. They were primarily on defense and stuff, and they used to annoy me so bad, just try and get under my skin. And that was Coach Tom, you know, putting them up to it. And I remember the one time I told, probably Michael, because he used to run our Scout O a lot and stuff, and we had our first team offense, and it was probably the Shreves were involved in this too, and I saw, you know, they're here. But I sent the whole offensive line after Travis. I told the quarterback, I said, just get the ball and run in the other direction, because nobody's blocking for you. All 5 of them are going to block Travis. So we were like driving them all over the field to try and shut them up. And it was just dumb little things like that made it, you know, fun. But don't get me wrong, when the whistle blew for practice, we were regimented, and we had system, we were prepared to do what we had to get done in that practice, and it wasn't 3 hours long, it was an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, but we were working. So I was lucky to get to start with those guys, and that's a little bit of some of the things we did. People ask a lot of questions, you know, I get questions and stuff because I'm so old, I guess it is, you know, how I've lasted so long. And my answer is really simple. It's not like,
all these young coaches that come out nowadays, they want to be on social media and they want to do this and they want to take shortcuts and they don't want to put kids in the weight room with big curly afros in 7th grade like the Shreves had. And work them up through. They want the quick fix because you see all this stuff with NIL and things like that. But I've lasted so long because it's always been about relationships with kids to me. And I think that's, it's not about the X's and O's. Yeah, you better know what you're doing if you're playing another good coach that studies the game. But it's not me writing something on a whiteboard. It's like taking care of little things that kids need to develop into what I get to see now when they're walking around here tonight. They're kids. And it's an unbelievably rewarding profession that I'm in. Don't get me wrong, I've studied football, I've watched film, I've seen things come and go. We were really good at triple option and nobody wanted to face us ever. Nobody had any idea what they were doing to stop it. And that kind of went away, and then people went to spread offenses, and then your quarterbacks are getting killed, and now it's going back to tight ends and RPOs, and I'm like, you know, I think I was talking to Michael the other night, and I was like, the RPOs are like it's like triple option, but the quarterback, instead of pitching it backwards, is just throwing it over the kid's head, you know? So the more things change, the more they stay the same. But I've tried to remain steadfast, you know, in a universe of like wavering standards so that I can provide some consistency to kids, and they certainly still need it. You see things, when you're around as long as I am, you've seen a lot of things that drive your tractor to work day, or drive your tractor to school day on homecoming, and a severed penis that I was made to look at because it's a long story. Yeah, I thought one of our players at the time had taken a helmet to his groin, and it was not a helmet to the groin, it was a pretty nice injury. Anyways, yeah, so you can't make that up, right? How's the game changed? The transfer portal, NIL, and stuff like that, it's very, our running back is a junior this year. He will make more money before he steps foot in college in NIL money than I will have made my whole life. That's how the game has changed. And you see these kids bouncing around, and it's not necessarily good for their education and their games. It's because they're not getting degrees coming out of college, and that makes me sad. All right, but our running back's agent is Von Miller's agent. So we're talking about a kid who just turned 16 years old. So if you would have told me that 20 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it, but that's where we're at. We have to adapt. So in finishing, a few more things. Obviously the Hall of Fame, I got to do so much stuff with them when I was here, and Paul and Don and some of these faces are still around, and it's just beautiful. And to see the kids and be celebrated with this award, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the whole community and the culture that was set up of excellence. Okay, and hopefully Rhymes and those guys are going to get this going back and get it back on track. To my assistant coaches, they kept me grounded. They were perfect role models for consistency, discipline, okay? And they helped me understand who SpongeBob was, I guess. All right, to the players, there's so many great stories. And watching you guys come in the other night, and I'm like, oh, dude, everybody's got beards, and they got kids hanging all over them, and I'm like, it was so rewarding to see like that. So those kids that have moved on, unfortunately, when you're coaching as long as I have, I've had 4 or 5 kids that have predeceased me. I hope they got Friday morning basketball going up in heaven, and I got next game when I get there with them. To my dad passed away last year. He loved North Tonawanda football more than anything. He used to drive my mother crazy. We got to be at the game at 4 o'clock so we can talk to the old timers and this and that. And he just loved it. I wish he could have been here to see it, but things happen for a reason. So I remember one thing he said to me that really took heed, but like I said, it was always hard to, when I had to bounce around a little bit to find the satisfaction that I had at North Tonawanda. But he said to me, we played somebody at Ralph Wilson when I was at Orchard Park, and we beat him pretty good. My dad was like, that's the first time I've seen a team that looked like NT on the field. So I thought that was one of the best compliments he could have given. I know how much he loved football and coaching football, and how much he loved NT football. And most importantly, obviously, my wife and my best friend, Colleen, she's had a front row. All right. She's had a front row seat to it all. Home alone with the kids. We like in those days you were scouting. We scouted every team we played every game. So we were out. Every coach was at a different game every week, and we were going to football clinics. And she was home alone with the kids on the weekends. And even when I was home on Sundays during the season, I would lock myself in my football office at like 6 in the morning, and I would get a knock at like noon, and she would bring me some food and shut the door and get out as quick as she could, you know, just because she knew what was going on with preparation. So, I mean, if you look at the success our kids are having, it's because of her and the stuff that she did with that. Our daughter, Chris, is at her 7th year of vet school. She's the one who got me into bike racing, as crazy as that sounds. She's my favorite person to ride with. I'm so proud of her drive. She's wanted to be a veterinarian since she was doing cartwheels. Some of the people in here will remember her doing cartwheels when she was in elementary school with the cheerleaders at our games and doing water. And she's wanted to be a veterinarian since then. So you talk about drive. And our son Hunter is playing football at Seton Hill. The little guy that used to bring the Matchbox cars and play with them on the track, you know, and coaching him the last 2 years of high school and working with him from 7th grade on in the weight room was just, you know, it's something you'll cherish your whole life. This honor being bestowed upon me tonight, it means the world because of how much, you know, how much I really envy North Tonawanda and the football program. I love football, I love coaching kids, I love working with kids. The world may have changed, you know, but kids haven't. I know they have different technology and stuff like this, but it can still make you smile, it can make you pissed off, it can make you cry, okay? But everything in the end is going to turn out pretty good if you can just show them that you care for them, all right? And if they know how much you love them, they're probably going to run through a wall for you. And during that process, the community and staff and the school might just come together as a family and help point those kids in the right direction. I love North Tonawanda football, and I always will. And it was a great weekend. All 3 of my teams won. Hopefully we'll get one more win tomorrow night. And it'll be a cap to a perfect weekend. Okay? But again, just seeing you guys and how successful you've become, the ones that are in the room here, I could go 0-4 this weekend and still have a smile on my face. Thanks North Tonawanda, thanks Hall of Fame, thanks everybody, and I hope you guys have a great night tonight.
One more time for Coach Erik.